Again, good afternoon or good morning. This is J.C. De La Garza with the United States Department of Energy. My technical point of contact is Peter Swift and Sylvia Salstein. Canister Corrosion Evaluation Integrated Research Project. The majority of spent fuel dry storage systems include a stainless steel canister to house the spent fuel. The canister can then be transferred to the storage overpack and transportation overpack without having to handle individual fuel assemblies. During storage in the overpack, there is technical and regulatory concern that over time, deliquescence of atmospheric water will create a condition of corrosion initiation. This corrosion initiation, coupled with canister surface conditions and residual welds, may lead to stress corrosion cracking in the canister. Research and development work is needed from experimental field testing and analytical areas. As a background, with regard to experimental, it is assumed that stress corrosion cracking will occur during the storage life of the canisters. Work is needed to demonstrate stress corrosion cracking initiation conditions, crack growth rates, and crack arrest conditions and characteristics. This work will help to define timelines of concern for stress corrosion cracking and provide guidance for inspection intervals during service. With regard to field testing, collaboration with industry and the DOE labs is needed to develop diagnostic tools for detection of cracks and assessment of crack growth. This diagnostic tool development will include work in a highly rad field involving canisters that are in service. Analytical application. Create a tool based on the experimental and field testing work that provides a predictive capability for different storage systems and environmental conditions. The intent here is not to develop a new platform, but to adapt existing codes where possible to provide the predictive capability that is needed. The focus of this work will be applied engineering to solve a regulatory and technical issue facing the commercial nuclear industry. Work with the DOE labs is important to strike the right balance between understanding the science and delivering a useful end product that can be used by industry. The IRP objective is the development of a new technology or technologies to support the design of simplified tools that can be used for stress corrosion cracking, predictive capability for different storage systems and environmental conditions. With regard to work to be performed, innovative methodology development. Describe the underlying fundamental principles and description of the new technology to be developed with an assessment of any limitations. Justification for how the technology will be successful should be provided based on any experimental or analytical studies that may be available. Proof of principle evaluation. Develop and demonstrate feasibility of the methodology for multi-layered and different material systems. Here, the opportunity exists to establish the degree of conformance to the initial expectation of performance and provide any refocused needs. Identify and quantify inherent uncertainties. Systematically develop uncertainties associated with a methodology and its application to a basic system. All non-destructive evaluation systems have both bias and uncertainty. It is important to understand and quantify these biases and uncertainties and incorporate the uncertainties in the data evaluation process. Develop and implement a mock-up test program. To the degree possible, tests should be conducted initially on a cask container with no fuel elements and then follow up with a structurally representative fuel internals. At this stage, no irradiated materials need to be considered. The test results should provide calibration for the use of the developed technology system to similar enclosed cask and container designs. Assemble a system for field demonstration. Put together a system that can be taken to the field where multiple casks containers can be evaluated. The system should be able to withstand storage site radiation levels. Conduct a field demonstration. Working with a storage facility operator, conduct a field demonstration of the system in the field and in a high rad environment and develop an evaluation of the field study. And prepare a detailed final report. The report will document the research and development elements of the IRP, provide bias, uncertainty in the system, and discuss the lessons learned from the effort. Tasks to be performed: development of an integrated plan, technology development, and testing 3 months after the beginning of the performance period. Task 2, methodology development, 9 months after the beginning of the performance period. Task 3, proof of principle testing and uncertainty evaluation, 15 months after the beginning of the performance period. Task 4, develop and implement mock-up tests, 26 months after the beginning of the performance period. Task 5, field demonstration, 33 months after the beginning of the performance period. And Task 6, complete project report, 36 months after beginning of performance period. The deliverables must include periodic progress reports every 6 months, technology assessment report 18 months after beginning of performance period, and a final project report 36 months after the beginning of the performance period. And we'll be happy to entertain any questions there might be at this time.
First question is, this area seems to have a large overlap with the 2014 IRP-FC-3. What is the difference?
The previous work that has been awarded has had to do with the different initiation processes for stress corrosion cracking. There's hydride-induced, there's weld and connection-induced, and there's external deliquescence induced. And we want to make sure that we are not attempting to describe the elephant from blind perspectives. We want to identify the coupled processes that might result from those initiating mechanisms to be able to address the stress corrosion cracking that we assume will be taking place from an incorporated perspective.
Is using sensors to determine SCC susceptibility part of this call, or is it duplicative of the sensors IRP from last year?
It is not duplicative in that, again, this is an attempt to coordinate and incorporate the different initiating mechanisms. Now, sensors can be used to identify deliquescence-induced stress corrosion cracking on the outside of the canisters, but again, the main thrust is to make sure that we are identifying how these coupled initiating processes could one affect the other, acting individually or in tandem.
Are you also looking for correlation between corrosion and radiation detection or radiation damage? Excuse me.
Radiation embrittlement would be a part of the consideration, because the radiation embrittlement would be a contributing factor to the stress corrosion cracking development. Sylvia or Peter, do you want to add to that?
Next question is delivery of the sensing system to the stainless steel canister part of the work?
No, the delivery of the sensors was part of a previous IRP that will be awarded here very soon.
It was mentioned to work with national laboratories. Is there a specific national laboratory that is looking for university partners or has specialty in this type of work?
There are several national laboratories that are involved in the NEUP program, and those national laboratories include Pacific Northwest, Savannah River National Laboratory, Los Alamos, Sandia National Laboratories, Argonne, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, Idaho National Laboratory, Berkeley Lab. Those are the labs that are involved in the NEUP effort.